Our resident favorite ace attorney Jimmy McGill is making his return as Better Call Saul's Season 6 premiere is just a few weeks away. The Breaking Bad spin-off has garnered a lot of fans on its own, and it's also thanks to a lot of behind-the-scenes secrets that add to its enigma. For today's episode, we'll be talking about Better Call Saul's behind-the-scenes secrets fans never knew about, so keep on watching to know more. First up, Bob Odenkirk had one condition before agreeing to star in the show. Starting today's list of behind-the-scenes secrets involves lead actor Bob Odenkirk. The actor had several things to say about his character during a recent interview with USA Today to promote his new memoir, Comedy Central Comedy Drama. When Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould approached Odenkirk to reprise the role for a spin-off, he set up a few thoughts on how his character should be portrayed, although he was worried if the creators would be offended. The first thing I said to Peter and Vince is you've got to make him likable if you want to write a show about him, because I didn't think he was likable, Odenkirk said about his character. When Saul was first introduced in Breaking Bad, he already had the attitude of a crook who's been in that particular line of business for a while. But the actor wanted Saul Goodman to be likable and seen in a better light, at least to understand why he fell out of being a law-abiding citizen. I thought they'd be insulted because I knew they liked the character, but they weren't. They understood what I meant. I grew to like him a lot more than when I started. Next, Better Call Saul almost became a TV sitcom. Contrary to the American crime drama we know of today, Better Call Saul was originally pegged to be a half-hour comedy show. During the early stages of development in the new series, Vince Gilligan revealed at the ATX Television Festival in 2018 that the show was originally going to be a sitcom, saying they sold it to Sony and AMC, not knowing what it was. "We thought it might be a half-hour sitcom," Gilligan said. "We thought about ripping off Dr. Katz. Week in and week out, famous comics would come in with their legal problems, but we knew nothing about writing straight-up comedy. Good thing the creators stuck to what they know best. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this gem of a show now." Now, the visual style of the show is inspired by Stanley Kubrick's works. As one of the greatest filmmakers in cinematic history, it's no secret that a lot of people drew inspiration from Stanley Kubrick's works, and that includes Better Call Saul. Show creators Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould named Stanley Kubrick and Bernardo Bertolucci as some of the influences of the series' visual style, which they shared in an interview that was reported by Fansided.com. Both creators insisted that the spin-off series would stray away from Breaking Bad's notable Western style, which resulted in the show's vibrant cinematography. Color plays an important role in the series. Following the footsteps of its predecessor, Better Call Saul also made use of color dynamics as a motif in the show where it foreshadowed conflict, as well as emphasized the character's traits. Peter Gould, who's also the series' executive producer, replied to a tweet asking hints as to why certain characters wear particular colors. To this, Gould answered that they have a new color code on Better Call Saul, wherein hotter colors are associated with crime. There's even a whole thread on Reddit explaining the fire and ice theory that suggests hotter colors like red and oranges are linked with crime, whereas cooler tones such as blues and purples are associated with the good guys. There's a reason for Saul's bad knees. In more than a few episodes, we often hear Saul claim that he has bad knees, which you can hear both in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. The show's writer, Thomas Schnauz, reveals that Saul must have taken several bad hits on the ice of Chicago that resulted in him falling all the time and messing up his knees. Because of this, he became known as Slippin' Jimmy for staging his slip and fall accidents. Schnauz also added that in Breaking Bad, they didn't need a reason why his character had to have bad knees, but they were pleased that they were able to tie those threads together. Next, Bob Odenkirk models his portrayal of Saul Goodman after his agent. American entrepreneur and CEO of Endeavor Talent Agency is a pretty prominent talent agency based in Beverly Hills that represents a variety of critically acclaimed stars. And we might also add that he was Bob Odenkirk's first agent. Did you know the actor modeled the portrayal of his character of Ari Emanuel? The American CEO is no stranger to impressions of his character, down to his persona and mannerisms. In fact, Odenkirk isn't the only one inspired by Emanuel's identity, since he was also the inspiration for one of the characters of HBO's Entourage, Ari Gold. There's a reason for Saul Goodman's sleazy hairdo. Some of you may have noticed that Jimmy McGill sports a rather funky hairdo throughout the series, which we can't seem to put our fingers into. But Bob Odenkirk has something to say about it, and apparently the hairdo is deliberate. In an interview with NPR back in 2013, Odenkirk approached Vince Gilligan with an idea on what Saul Goodman's hair should be like, with Gilligan describing his character as sleazy. At first, the actor pointed out that he's not Jewish, and they should hire an actor fitting for the role, but Gilligan quickly explained that Saul Goodman is not Jewish, but Irish, and only changed his name to appeal to the homeboys and gain some stature in their eyes. To this, an idea popped into Odenkirk's head: Saul's hairstyle, which is his contribution to the character. It's a comb-over that's pretty clearly a comb-over, with a growing bald spot and yet at the same time somehow a mullet in the back, he said of Saul Goodman's do. And so it's a tricky piece of hair engineering that Saul pulls off, but I think it says a lot about his character. Cleaned up on the sides because he's all business, and the comb-over is to try to look younger, and the mullet is to try and look like a relaxed dude, but who's also capable of focusing and being serious. Next, his future car makes an appearance in the pilot episode. In Breaking Bad, Saul Goodman is seen driving a 1997 Cadillac DeVille, which is a luxury car known for its hefty price tag. Of course, something like this could not be easily earned by just being a regular lawyer, as evidenced in Better Call Saul's pilot episode, where Jimmy McGill drives a beat-up Suzuki Esteem. But if you look back at the pilot, you'll notice that his future car, the Cadillac DeVille, makes an appearance, as it's the same model parked right beside his Suzuki Esteem. Now, there's a lot of Breaking Bad Easter eggs which are not so hidden in the show. One of the many perks of Better Call Saul is the inclusion of many familiar characters and objects in the storyline, which is the creator's nod to its predecessor. Some of you may remember in Breaking Bad when Mike Ehrmantraut used a pig plushie to thwart an assassination, but in Better Call Saul, we see the origins of this plush animal as Mike's gift to his granddaughter years before the event. There's also one of Saul's stories where he convinced a woman that he was Kevin Costner, saying it worked because I believed it. In the series, we actually saw this woman who seems to have slept with him, and in the end realized that he wasn't the actor after all. And who could forget the ill-fated Crazy Eight, who made an enemy out of Walter White? This unfortunate soul also makes an appearance in the series, where he shows up riding his van while flashing his business sign Tempico Furniture. Years later, we see Walter White talking about wanting to buy his son's crib from the said store. Finally, we also got to discover the origins of Saul's name. In episode 4 of the series, we see a flashback of Jimmy McGill hustling for a few extra doughs. Right before he does the deed and swindles the unsuspecting Saul of the fake Rolex watch, he utters the phrase, "Saul good, man." Lastly, Better Call Saul. What is the series all about? Way before he took the name Saul Goodman and was the attorney for chemical teacher turned meth dealer Walter White, Goodman was a small-time attorney named Jimmy McGill, who's making an honest-to-goodness living by providing professional consultancy services to his low-income clients. Better Call Saul first aired on February 8, 2015 on AMC and is set to debut its 6th and final season on April 18, 2022, which consists of 13 episodes split into 2 parts. The second part is set to premiere on July 11, 2022. The series is created by Vince Gilligan and Peter Gold, starring Bob Odenkirk, and takes place 6 years before the events of Breaking Bad happen. And that's pretty much everything you need to know about Better Call Saul's behind-the-scenes secrets fans never knew about. Are you just as excited as we are for the show's final season this coming April? Let us know in the comments section below. Before you go, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on for more videos like these. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.